Okay, welcome. So today I am going to be unboxing something that I cannot believe I'm about to unbox. Anybody that knows me knows that Fight Club is my favorite movie of all time. Originally saw it in theaters when it first opened in 1999. Don't really need to get into the history of Tyler's wardrobe, Tyler Durden, played by Brad Pitt, but everybody that's seen the movie and is going to be watching this obviously is well aware that it's some of the most iconic wardrobe costume design of a movie in history. A lot of the pieces, almost actually all the pieces, are very highly sought after. Even to the point that there are people that just make replicas that sell for a lot of money. Because almost his entire wardrobe was true vintage pieces found in thrift shops all over California by Michael Kaplan, the costume designer, and then if they needed extras, copies were made. But they were all mostly vintage pieces. Some of them were one-of-a-kind finds, so highly rare, highly sought after. For some reason, I don't really know why, I can't even explain why, but ever since I saw the movie on opening night, the one piece of wardrobe that I was most obsessed with and was determined to find the exact pair, the exact brand, was Tyler's track pants from the film. He wears them in several scenes. He wears them in a lot of the publicity photos and photo shoots that they did afterwards to promote the film. Pretty much can say I've searched for 21 years to find these pants. Never was able to find them. Never was able to find anything close to them. Never was able to even figure out the brand name. So closest I ever got was right here. These are a pair of replica track pants, which are made by Max Cady Clothing. They make awesome replicas, but basically these ones are just based off of what you can see in the film. It's not like they had like an original pair that was used to kind of go off of. So the reason I have these out is because what is in this box here is the actual pair that was used in the film. After 21 years, all I ever wanted was the same pair, not the exact pair. Never did I imagine that I would have the opportunity to own the exact pair, but thank you to Prop Store, the London auction, I was able to secure them. Have not opened them yet, so I'm gonna unbox these. 21 years. And the reason I have the replica pair out is because I want to also do a comparison to the original pair with the replica pair to kind of figure out how close they were, you know, what's different, what's not. So kind of be a little interesting thing I'll do after the initial unboxing. So here we go. Usually unboxing videos, there's like, you know, like a lot of opening and removal of packaging, but this one came out pretty easily. Alright, so they're in there in between all this. I can already tell you they're a lot heavier than the replica pair, but I won't make any comparisons right away. We'll get into that after we actually get into them. So they're packaged, COA enclosed. So that's going to be in here. I like how they use the fragile tape on it. So let's open the COA. This is the Prop Store COA. So, oh, there's a nice coupon in there for me to use later. So here's the COA. It says Prop Store Auction Tyler Durden's track pants. So there's a COA. It's got their stamp. It's got the signature. and it has their stamp on it, their little seal. This over here. This is insane to even be like touching these, holding these, to search for them for so long. All right, so let's check them out. So here they are. And let's take a look. Wow, yeah. Crazy. So this was the original pair, from what I understand, that Michael Kaplan found in a thrift store, which is why they're so distressed and cracked. There are a couple other pairs of these. There's one that I know another collector has, and there's also a pair at, I believe, Fox has it in their studio archives. They were like backup pairs. So they're not as distressed as these, but these were the original pair. See, right in the pants, it's labeled Tyler #1, which would have been by, that's probably Michael Kaplan's handwriting, I'm assuming. And I am going to reveal the brand name. I'm looking at it right now. I'm going to say that because I know that's what everybody's waiting for. Okay, so. It's crazy. Wow. All right, so let's talk about, before I reveal the brand at the end, let's talk about the differences here. So, right off the bat, the color's a little bit different. I don't know how well it shows up on camera. I don't really know how to describe it. They're both blue. The replica pair's just a little bit... Yeah, the replica pair, I understand these are older, but you can just tell this pair is a little bit darker of a blue. So the blue is kind of off. Let's see any other major differences. What do you think, Channing? I'm gonna have my son Channing, this is his channel, come in and kind of help me. Say hello.
Hi.
All right, so these are the real pair, these are the replicas. What kind of differences do you see?
I can already see that these are darker, much shinier.
Yeah, that's the main difference that I noticed when I pulled these out. So on the replica pair, on the Max Cady pair, which is awesome. I'm telling you, this is an awesome pair. Oh, this is an awesome replica. The large white stripe is kind of like this reflective nylon material. It's almost like a silky nylon material. And on the actual pair, it's almost like leather. It's like white leather. That's why it's so cracked. But literally, this is like white leather. So the stripe is a white leather. This is pretty close. The gray, almost silverish stripes. What do you think?
Yeah.
They're pretty close. I think the real ones are a little bit wider. These are a little bit thinner. Let's see the pockets. I know this is distressed, but let's look. Oh, it's dirty. That's so cool. Yeah, I mean, if you want to nitpick, like, the Velcro is blue on here, this is black, it's a little bit smaller. But the pocket itself, like how it works, and the stitching looks pretty much the same, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Pretty much. Now let's see, what else? Let's look at the bottom stitching here. Let me turn them around this way. So the bottom stitching They are zippered. Let's see. So the bottom stitching is, it's pretty similar. What do you think? Pretty close?
Yeah.
It's pretty close. What, do you see something?
And this is a little bit more ripped than those ones.
Well, that's because these are the original. So they were used, so they're ripped. But good eye. However, what I do notice is that on the replica pair, the Max Cady pair, this is just kind of open. It's just kind of flat, an open seam. Is that what you call that? Opening, leg opening. It's like an open leg opening. Whereas over here on the original, it's bunched up. It's got some like spandex material in it, very similar to up here on the top. So that's a major difference I'm seeing, is that this is just kind of like almost like a wide leg opening, and this is like bunched up at the bottom. Now the zipper, let's see. I don't want to mess with it too much, but I just kind of want to see. Okay, so the zipper, the length is actually pretty close as far as how far up the ankle it goes. What kind of differences do you see, if any?
This has a closing
Yeah,
on the zipper.
that's exactly what I saw. So this has like a little zipper closure system, almost to where it like hides the zipper when it's zipped up or zipped down, I guess. And this one's just fully open. So no matter what, you can see the zipper. And then also, I'm also noticing here the material, the stitching. So the stitching here from the zipper up, the inside of the leg is very wide. And on this, the original pair, is really super thin. It's almost like bunched up together. So there's those differences there. Now, talk about the material. These are a lot thinner. I don't want to say these are thick, but they are thicker. I felt this material before, and I can't tell you what it feels like. It feels like something. It's definitely a different material, 100% different material. This is like more. We'll just go with this is very different material. Okay, so the material's different. Like I said, I noticed when I first picked it out, the actual pair is a lot heavier. These are like really light. This is really heavy. Not heavy, like, but compare when you pick up the difference is very noticeable that these are a lot heavier. Let's look at the top here, top of the pants. Flip it around like this. Get a look at the other side. Okay, so the top. Make sure I don't show the brand yet. Saving that. Okay. So let's look at the top. So that's pretty similar to how, wouldn't you say, how wide it is? Like how the length of that for the stitching across. The stitching's pretty close. On the replica pair though, it's a single stitch that goes down into the crotch. And on the real pair, it's a double stitch, goes down. And then it kind of Y's off, kind of like a Y there. And on this pair, it just kind of stops. It just kind of goes and stops.
And there's a tie on the replica pair.
Yeah, there's actually a tie on here. That's actually the next thing I was going to look at. Let's see. Let me pull that out. Okay, so the tie, I mean, again, if you want to get nitpicky, colors off, like this is like a really almost like a royal blue color. And this is more it's almost the same color as the pants here. Like this and this is almost the same color. This is like a dark blue, kind of like the pants. This is like a royal blue. These are more like... These are more of like the drawstring of a hoodie is what the replica pair feels like, but the actual pair feels more like a boot shoelace, like the shoelace of a boot. I'm already saying I'm definitely gonna have to have like a much different way of maybe storing these as I originally thought, because it's so old, like the leather cracks and it just falls apart. Like that's definitely some kind of leather material. Now let's look at the inside just to kind of see. So the Max Cady brand, the replicas, which I always thought was kind of strange, honestly, they have this like white netting on the inside, and it's through the entire pants. And it's almost like a swim trunks, which actually when you feel like the replica pants, that's almost what they feel like, is like they're made out of what you buy with swim trunks. So they always had that weird netting, and I was always curious if the original pair had that, and it does not. So the original pair, it's just this solid kind of nylon parachute material. Does not feel anything like, doesn't feel anything like swimming trunks. And then overall, now these I can't really, excuse me a minute, buddy. I can't really compare like size wise, like length. Like I don't want to get too much into that because I don't really know what size these are compared to these replicas, because the replicas were made with like Japanese sizes, because they're made like Max Cady's a Japanese company. So let me just kind of lay them on top of each other here and see. Okay, so these were Max Cady. What size did I get? I think they're this is a Max Cady large, which I believe was the equivalent of an American medium. So they're just a little bit longer, as you can see, than the real pair. They're maybe like an inch or so longer, maybe 2 inches in length.
The top of the original pair is wider than the replica pair.
What do you mean? Wider? Oh, I thought you said lighter. I'm sorry. Yes, it is wider. You're right. But yeah, so they're just a little bit longer. And I can tell you, I already peeked on the inside of the tag, and the original pair is a size large. So the original track pants worn in the film were a size large. So original pants are large. This is a large for the replicas. As you see, the replicas are about an inch longer. Now, the other thing I noticed, too, I want to get into this before we get to the brand reveal, which I know everybody's waiting for, is the top part where it's all bunched up here. You know, obviously the drawstring goes through that. You would tighten it like you would with any pair of track pants or any kind of pants like that. On the replica pair, they're very, it's not bunched a lot no matter what you do. Like there doesn't seem to be as much material up here on the top, because that's how those work. Obviously, you know, there's extra material up here. You pull on the string and it bunches it together. There's not a whole lot of material up here, so they're not as bunched as the original pair. Like the original pair, there's a lot of material. It's really thick. When you feel it, it's super thick up here. And there's a lot of extra material, and you can see how much more bunched it is up there. Actually, the only other thing I wanted to do before we did the brand reveal was I wanted to see how close these were stitch-wise as far as the lines, the stitch lines. So I'm just going to kind of, this is, you know, just an estimate. I'm not like actually measuring anything, but I just want to kind of get a look, and it's actually pretty close. It looks like it's just off by a little tiny bit. Again, this is just, I'm just kind of eyeing it up a little bit. It looks like it's just slightly lower. You could maybe argue that if I actually measured it, maybe it's not. But just eyeing it up, a guesstimate. The stitching across the thigh and the knee, it's just a little bit too low on the replica pair. So again,
I did see another difference.
what was that?
right here,
Yeah.
there is a little...
I was going to point out that there's little extra stitching here that's not present on the replica pair. But let's put that over there. I can't really think of anything else. So let's take a look again. Okay, are we ready for the brand reveal, everybody? Here we go. 21 years. Ready? There's the brand. Verso USA. Size large. They also wrote a number 1 on the little tag there. Made in the USA. So there's the brand. Good luck finding them. But 21-year mystery solved. Thanks for watching. One other thing I noticed, I didn't want this to be not mentioned because I only checked at the bottom here when I touched down here at the bottom and said about how, you know, there's the netting in the replicas and there's nothing in here. It's just the material. Actually, if you get up to the top, there is a material in here that's stitched in along with the actual pants, but it's more of like it's like a t-shirt type material. So there is a different material inside these, but again, t-shirt material, not that kind of swimming trunk netting.